is a great thing, but I think also social media can kind of get in your head a little bit, right? I think that's what the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Sales don't happen on day one or month one or month two. Just mute out all the noise, kind of drown it out, and just do you, be you. You know what I mean? There's thousands of realtors, but there's only one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Realist Podcast, where we interview the cream of the crop, the best of the best real estate professionals in the Houston area. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Antonio Barrera with us.
You forgot the Javier, Antonio Javier, bro.
Javier Antonio.
I'm kidding, Antonio Javier, but I'm kidding.
Welcome,
Tony.
Tony. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Melody. I appreciate it.
Yay.
Yeah.
And so I knew we had to have you on here because I met you over social media. And actually, as we were greeting each other at my door this morning, you were like, I don't think I've ever met you in person. And seeing me, you were like, oh, she's tiny.
I mean, I knew you were short. No, it's funny because I feel like I knew you, right? But I thought back, I'm like, have I ever met Melody in person? I was like, I don't think I have. But I mean, it's weird how you can know somebody, but not know somebody, you know?
And we know each other because you're calling us up every week to book shoots. So
and I've got to book another one with you
yes.
Today after this podcast.
You're keeping us busy, and we're so excited to keep you or that you're staying busy. And I'm excited to be able to hear about your journey. Are you able to tell us?
Yes, but let me put my phone on vibrate.
Yeah, the busy realtor life.
It never
it never stops.
That's the thing.
Actually, before that, some icebreaker questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Coffee or Coke?
Girl. Coffee. It's got to be coffee. Yeah, 'cause my day doesn't start without the coffee.
Yeah.
There's something about it. I don't even know that it's the taste or what it is, but something mentally triggers, and I have to have the coffee.
I love it. Yeah. Okay. City life or suburbs?
City life. I was talking to my wife about this over the weekend. I love people.
Yeah.
I love interacting. I love the busyness of going out in my morning routines, visiting my local favorite spots. I'm a city boy.
Okay, eating out at restaurants or at home with the family? I mean, it could be outside with the family too.
I like cooking at home. I mean, I'm a great cook. Yeah, I like eating out, so I do eat out quite a bit because obviously my lifestyle's very busy on the run sometimes. But I love to cook. I love carne asada. I'm a regio.
Oh yeah.
For those that don't know, that's a person that's from Monterrey, Mexico. So I love carne asada, fajitas, pollo asada. I love barbecuing.
Yeah. Okay, tacos or tamales?
Girl, tacos. 100%.
And last one, tequila or beer?
Beer.
Beer,
yeah.
It depends on the mood. It depends on what's happening.
I think so. I mean, I think beer on the daily because you can drink it more. You can have it in the fridge, just pop
casual.
it open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're in the pool, you grab a beer. You don't grab a tequila. Beer.
Okay, that was a bad question. I need to reframe the question next time. A tequila shot or an espresso shot?
Oh, tequila shot.
Okay. Now let's go into it. Take me back into your past. Okay. Into wherever you want to take us. How did you get started and take us to where you're at now?
Sure. How did I get started in real estate? That's what you want to know, right?
In real estate, but take us back to where you want us to get to know you a little bit.
Sure. So I was born in Houston. My household consisted of my grandmother, grandfather, mother, and father. They were all Mexican born. So I would be a first generation American. Is that how you said it? Yeah. Anyhow, so I was born in Houston. We were a really tight-knit family, traditional Hispanic household. Fun fact, I was actually a Spanish speaker before I was an English speaker. So I was in ESL classes until third grade, so if you can believe that. So that tells you what you need to know about the family. It's a traditional Hispanic family. Yeah. So my grandfather along the way started investing in real estate when he was probably in his 40s, I'd say. He immigrated from Mexico, was a welder here in the States, had an accident at work, and he came across some money. And he decided he wanted to open up a bar business, which is what he did back in Mexico. So he opened up his version of his bar here in the States.
Wow.
And it was actually called Tony's Place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Was his name Antonio?
Yeah, his name was Antonio as well. Yeah.
Cool.
So he opened up Tony's Place and started doing really well with it. He's a very social person, very likable, the whole 9 yards. From his success at Tony's Place, he started buying properties. He started buying single-family homes. Some were multifamily units, and he just started investing his money. So I guess as long as I know, I mean, from the time I was born, these properties already existed in the family, and we were basically landlords. That's what my grandparents did, right? My mom did the same, and that's kind of how the seed got planted. So as long as I've been around, I've always been around residential real estate.
Wow, I love that because some people come across investing later in life, but it's been a part of you ever since you were born, like you said.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, so you have a lot of knowledge I want to dig into later.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, some of it I've learned along the way, and you kind of bump your head, and you learn through trial by error, right? But I think I do have a lot of knowledge in general.
Cool.
So I graduated from high school, and I attended the University of Texas at Austin. So I'm a Longhorn.
Oh.
I'm not.
I don't know how we feel about that in this home.
This is. We've talked about this, right? You're an Aggie, bro?
No, Raider.
You're a Texas Tech. Oh no, it's okay, bro. We're not direct competitors. We're a different level.
His brother is an Aggie.
Oh, okay. No,
but he wanted to be a Longhorn when he was in high school.
I see that burnt orange. Is that orange? That's Astros orange.
It's Astros.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I went to UT, majored in finance. Senior year of college, I interned with a mortgage broker. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have the idea that I wanted to get into real estate, but I ended up interning with the commercial mortgage broker. After college, of course, it was time to get a job, figure out what's next. So I ended up staying on.
Wow.
So I started in commercial lending. Commercial real estate
so you
lending.
have all this background information on the number side of things.
It's funny, yeah, because when I started off, it was more analytical. I mean, commercial mortgage, commercial real estate is more numbers driven. NOI, net operating income, what income a property generates, what cap rate it would sell. It's more data driven than residential real estate is, I feel like, right? Because obviously residential is more finding a home that's tailored to your client's liking, that fits their lifestyle. So it's a completely different ballgame. But I started off in commercial real estate.
Wow.
After that, I did that for a couple of years. I got into commercial real estate appraisal. I did that for a few years. Then I got into project management. I needed a break. That was kind of right around the 2008, 2010 market crash. So things kind of got a little bit wonky. So I ended up venturing into project management at a construction firm.
Wow.
Did that, got into the accounting division of that same company for the next 10 years. So let's just say 15 years of my life were spent there with project management and accounting.
Because you had your degree in accounting.
Because I had my degree in finance. Yeah, exactly. And
so you like numbers. Or you fell out of love maybe later on in life?
I don't know. I mean, I think I do. Yeah, because I generally do like sitting down and breaking things down and analyzing. But I don't know that I love numbers, but I guess I can kind of like piece things together pretty well.
Yeah, it makes sense for you.
Things make sense for me, exactly. So while I was doing that, I talked to my wife and I wanted to get into flipping homes, right? So the idea was, well, I want to get into flipping homes. I want to build homes. And the reason for that was because throughout the years, I kind of skipped over this. When my grandparents passed and my mom passed, they ended up leaving me an inheritance, which was the homes that they had bought in the years past.
Yeah.
And these homes were in need of repair. They needed to be remodeled. They were on pretty rough shape, right? Good locations, but pretty rough shape. So at that point, I kind of had a decision to make, right? I was probably 21, 22 at the time.
Oh, my goodness.
And the decision was, do I sell, right? Do I sell now, get the money, and then move on? Or do I try to build something from this and learn along the way and kind of hold it for the future, right?
Yeah. What did you do, Tony? What did you do? Drum roll. What did you do with inheritance?
I ended up, slowly fixing them over time. I mean, I repaired the properties over time.
How wise of you at 21.
I don't know what the thought process there was exactly, but I think I just, inside of me, I knew that it wasn't the right time. You know what I mean? Especially because my parents and grandparents had worked so hard to build that and acquire that. It just didn't feel right to let go of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that time, at least. So throughout that process, I learned how to rehab, remodel, property manage. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So it was, trial by fire, like I was telling you earlier.
Did you like it? Or was it fire?
Yeah, no, I loved it.
It was fire, but you loved the...
Yeah, I love the process. Yeah, I really liked taking something and creating a space, right? So these were they were rental homes. But renovating something and making it to somebody's liking to where a tenant could come in and enjoy that space and really feel at home. I like that process.
Wow.
I didn't really enjoy the landlording aspect of it, but I enjoyed the creation and the transformation of the spaces of the homes.
Yeah.
So because I enjoyed that so much, I thought that that's what I wanted to do. I figured I'm going to flip homes. I'm going to build homes. I was really gung-ho on all this, right? Because I really enjoyed it. I enjoy coordinating people. I enjoy talking to people, communicating with people, coordinating projects. So that was the idea. So I figured, let's go ahead and start trying to explore that avenue of flipping homes and building homes. So I got my real estate license, right? That was the goal, but it didn't quite go that way because I got the license. And then, of course, my wife, Lady, her name was Lady. She ended up telling the moms at the school, all of our friends, Tony's a realtor. Tony does real estate sales.
Goodness.
But I had no intention to sell real estate. You know what I mean? I was still doing accounting work.
She was so proud of you.
She was. Yeah, she really was.
That's so cute.
And I had no intention of doing real estate sales because I was in a different field. Figured I'd do something completely different, like I said, building homes or flips. And it just kind of spiraled into that. I mean, people started calling me and asking me and picking my brain. And I think the reason for that is because they kind of knew my experience set and they figured they felt comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And just wanted to pick my brain and have me help them in their real estate investments or decisions or whatnot. And that's kind of how it all started. So I got into real estate sales.
Yeah. And how did you feel in the beginning? Were they like immediately doing business with you, or was it just phone calls like from a friend, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think?
You know what? I think initially my first client was one of the moms from the school that I went from the elementary school from KIP. She called me and they were looking to buy a lot. So that turned into business, but it was a very small scale. It was the lot was very affordable. It was $20,000 at the time. This was probably 6 years ago. So it wasn't like a big money transaction but it was experience, right? So I helped her with that. I had another old high school friend that reached out to me and he was looking to buy a home and I helped him with that. And so it kind of started off pretty quickly, I'd say. I think I probably had my license in, let's just say February, and I probably sold my first home in April, in 2 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it started off very quick,
Wow, that's cool. Thanks to your amazing wife for those referrals, referral networking.
Yeah,
that's
she's
awesome.
she's a good networker. If you know my wife, she's very social. She loves people. She loves she's amazing.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so from there, how have things changed? Did you start your All Homes Realty group then, or when was that?
No. I mean, when I first started, I was still doing accounting work, so I was kind of part-timing it. So I was doing half or full-time accounting work, and then nights and weekends I was doing real estate, and kind of mixing some of that in throughout the day too. I mean, I had a very flexible boss or place where I was working, and they knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I kind of always was very sure to do, was to let my employer know of what I was doing at the time, what my plans were, and just to kind of keep that transparency there, because you don't want to be kind of sneaking around and this and that. So I was kind of always very open, like, hey, I'm going to do sales. I don't know how busy it'll be, but if I need to go, I'll let you know. I need an hour out of the day or whatnot.
And they were super flexible.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. Yeah, but keep in mind, I'd been with them probably for about 10 years by that point.
Yeah.
So he knew me, and he knew that I'd still deliver and get my work done.
So quick, like little question here in between. So for somebody that is starting their real estate journey, do you recommend that they go in full-time, jump in, or do a part-time thing like you did?
I think it depends on the person and their circumstance. I mean, to be honest with you, real estate is obviously it's 100% commission based. So it's, when you're first starting out, it takes you a while to kind of get going. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Sales don't happen on day one or month two. I mean, you might sell 1 or 2 homes your first year. So if you think about it, I mean, if you're financially ready and you can take that step and be able to afford that, yeah, I mean, maybe you can go into it full time and your learning curve might accelerate and you might get going faster. But I think it's okay to keep a stable income stream. That way you don't have so much pressure on top of you. And you can meet your obligations, and then you kind of just transition and ease into it. I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer. I think it really depends on your personal circumstance.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's very wise. Okay, so continue from there.
Yes. So where do we leave off? So I started doing sales and working part-time. I'm working full-time, part-time sales.
Lead to how you started your brokerage.
So did that for a while, and I got to a point where I was starting to get so busy with sales and, obviously trying to work a full-time job and, getting busy with running around with people and sales. I got to the point where I felt like I was ready to branch out. But at that time, see, you got to understand, to become a broker, it takes time. Like literally, you can't just say, I want to become a broker and poof, it's done, right? By state regulation, you have to have 4 years of sales agent experience. You have to have certain educational requirements. You have to pass a state exam. And you have to have a certain number of real estate transactions. So it's going to take you minimum 4 years to where you can even apply to become a real estate broker, right?
Oh, wow.
So 4-year mark hits. And of course, I knew from day one that I wanted to be a broker.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
why?
I think that personal accomplishment, I mean, I think to me, it means a lot. You know what I mean? It's like graduating from college or something along the lines. You know what I mean? I think if you have that, it's a credential that makes you feel good, or made me feel good about what I had accomplished at that point. And I think that it opens up different avenues for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's one of the things that was important to me was to be able to brand underneath my brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, All Homes Realty Group, that's me, right? That's me, my wife, my daughter. Anyhow, that's our company. And that was important for me to be able to separate myself and to identify myself as an individual, not part of a larger group.
Yeah.
And I know that's not for every agent, but for me, it was very important to be able to do that.
Yeah. And that's the dream for many too.
Yeah. So anyhow, got my broker's license, started the All Homes Realty Group, and I am the broker of the All Homes Realty Group. And
yeah. So tell me something about how you formed it, how you created the name. I know a core value of yours is you have huge family values. So tell me about how it all got formed. And
yeah, sure. Okay. So All, ALL, stands for Antonio, Lady, and Lady.
I love that.
Antonio is myself, Lady is my wife, Lady Dolores, and that's my daughter's name, Lady Elena. So I can't take credit for the name though, because I really can't. My wife and I were brainstorming years back, and when I wanted to flip homes and build homes, it's like, what should I call the business? And she said, one day it hit her. She's like, hey, I know what it should be called. I was like, what? She said it should be called All. I'm like, All? She said, yeah, Antonio, Lady, and Lady. And I was like, okay. So it's a family business, right? I mean, we all contribute in one way or another. I mean, in real estate, it's a business where sometimes you have to pick up and leave, and you go show a home at the drop of a hat, right? So there's a lot that goes into it. Yes, I'm the one out there working, but my family's also supporting me because they're allowing me or enabling me to go out there and do that. And so we all kind of sacrifice when we all give and contribute in a different way. And like I said, Lady was my main marketer. So if you think about it, I wouldn't exist without Lady, my wife, you know?
And I think that's really strong of how, talking more into the marketing aspect of it, the way that, or why you attracted us a little bit more is because we are huge on family values. And we want to be connected with people that honor and respect and know what it is to have a family and to build something with a family. And I think that's why we kind of connected, because we have kind of those similarities. And
I think, to me, real estate is an industry, or it's a line of work where you can really lose sense of that. It's very consuming, number one. You can get lost in the shuffle. You can get bogged down, number one, with your workload. Number two, with the whole image of real estate and the circle and the networking, and it becomes like it's a whole thing. You know what I mean? And you really have to kind of differentiate things and separate what's really important. And for me, my family is important. I'm a family first kind of guy, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's that they're always going to come first. If I have a daughter's event and I have a showing to go do, I'm going to figure it out to where I can accommodate both ideally, but my family is always going to come first because you can't get that time back. That's, to me, my life's mission is to be, then I've told this to my wife and my daughter, the best husband and father that I can be. I mean, I love the real estate, don't get me wrong, but to me, like, that's at the core of everything that I do is my family first and then everything else.
yeah,
You know?
absolutely. I love that. We are totally aligned right there with you. Okay, so continue from there. What have you focused on with All Homes? How have you been able to continue expanding, growing?
When I first started All Homes, I represented predominantly buyers, right? And I love working with buyers, by the way, because I love educating, I love teaching, I love working with first-time home buyers and helping them accomplish the goal of home ownership, right? And so I started working originally with buyers, and then that started spiraling into now working on the listings side, right? Because as you mentioned, I mean, I call you guys quite a bit now for photography on my listings. So now I'm kind of predominantly doing listing on the listing side of things, right? And so now we're doing both, right? Representing buyers, representing sellers, representing landlords looking to lease their property, representing tenants looking to rent property. So it's pretty much a full spectrum operation.
I love it.
Yeah. So I don't really, I mean, I do it. I mean, I do everything, right? I mean, I do leasing, I do sales, whatever I can help with, I'm here to do it.
That's awesome. And so talking, these allergies are like killing us.
I know, I'm just saying.
Talking about the landlord and the leasing side, something that was really brilliant, and I think on our first conversation, you started talking to us about investing. And I love that. And I like how you said picking your brain about it. So can I pick your brain about it?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, yeah, if I can, yeah. Let's see how well I can answer your questions.
No, it'll just be broad.
Yeah, sure.
So tell me, because I know you do it locally and I know you do it internationally. Tell me a little bit about why you have focused on doing some international investing and if you recommend it for some of us.
Yeah, my wife is from Mérida, Yucatan. So we love going down there. We go down there every summer and as much as we can, right?
That's in Mexico for
That's in
anybody
Mexico,
that
yes.
doesn't.
For those that don't know, that's near Cancun, but not Cancun. It's about 3 hours from Cancun, but general geography, because you can probably, most people know Cancun. For me, I think I'm very proud of my roots, right? I mean, like I said, my parents and my grandparents were born in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I grew up under that pride of being Mexican. You know what I mean? The culture, the values, the family dynamic, all of it. I loved it. And I think that I associate very strongly with that. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to obtain my Mexican citizenship so that I could in turn purchase property in Mexico and invest in Mexico with the idea that one day maybe I'd live down there, right? And that's kind of in the works, but we'll see who knows how that'll all work out.
Yeah.
Uno pone, Dios dispone. That's a saying in Spanish. So basically you can plan, but only God knows where you know, how things will end up. So I think with that idea that we wanted to start setting some roots in Mexico, we started investing internationally. We bought a rental home in Mérida, and we bought a piece of land in Mérida as well to build our dream home. So we're starting to kind of invest down there. And I think it's a good idea for people. I mean, I think it's a great way to diversify your portfolio, number one, right? Because I mean, it's a different market. And it kind of gives you something different to look forward to as well. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like the dream, right? You can buy a rental abroad, maybe rent it out for a few years, and then eventually live there or have a summer home, or just gives you different options and avenues. It's something to kind of look forward to.
And it's a beautiful place, especially down there where you're speaking of Mérida. It's nice, hot, safe, not too crazy. So another quick pause. How did you end up with a Southern Mexican girl? And you're up here in the north with your...
Well, we didn't meet down there. We didn't meet in Mexico.
I know. How'd y'all meet over here?
Yeah.
Just
my wife and I used to go to high school together.
Oh, cute.
But we didn't meet back then.
What? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we went to the same high school, but she was a year ahead of me. I was a year behind her. I was a junior. She was a senior. And Lady, like I mentioned, she's got a larger-than-life personality. You've never met Lady, have you?
No, I haven't.
I've
talked to her on the phone.
Lady's amazing. She's got this magnetism and this aura to her. She's just a great person. So we went to high school together. I knew who she was. She knew who I was, but not like that. We didn't coincide at the time.
Yeah.
Then fast forward probably, let's say, 8 years later, we started bumping into each other at like different places, restaurants, bars, clubs, social events.
That's crazy. 8 years later.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I was probably
goodness.
27,
Tony,
I think, somewhere around
that's
then.
Crazy.
Maybe more than 8 years, 9 years. Anyhow, so we'd bump into each other, and nothing really even came of it then. It wasn't even a thing. I think we just kind of, the universe just kind of brought us together. So we started running into each other, and then I asked her out to dinner, not on a romantic level, but just a friend level at that point. And she was very social. Like I said, had a group of friends. So I figured if I was her friend, that I could like have more friends. You know what I mean? That sounds wrong, right? That sounds kind of. But I mean, I wanted friends. I wanted people to hang out with and socialize. So I knew that she was a lot of fun. She probably had other friends that were fun, and we could all I could join a group. You know what I mean?
Fun, yeah.
And then so we went out on a dinner. I don't even want to call it a date, but we went out to dinner, and then all of a sudden, I never really quite met anyone like her. And then from that day, I just kind of knew. I'm like, wow, she's different. You know?
Oh my gosh, that's
and so
sweet.
in short, she's a Southern Mexico girl. I'm a Northern Mexico boy, but we met here in the States. And, yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna clip that out and send it to her, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, that is so sweet." Okay, that's amazing. So to finish up, I have a few deeper questions. Answer them as you wish. Sure. So, what's your favorite? Oh, but pause on that. If anybody wants to invest internationally or was interested in this little piece of Mérida, they're like, what is that even? What is that, a city? Is that a state? Is that a country? Can they reach out to you? Can we
call me? Sure.
put your information on there?
Sure,
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite or your most important past failure that has led to success now?
I was brainstorming on this because you had a list of talking points you sent me. I think that I don't know that I've failed a lot in life, because failure really is about perspective, right? I mean, so I don't know that I've really had a failure, or something that I considered a big failure. But what I was thinking is that initially when I first got into real estate, and I think this applies to life in general, but when I first got into real estate, I was very hesitant to take on transactions or clients or situations that I didn't feel very comfortable in, right? And now I realize that you're not going to know everything, no matter how experienced you are, how seasoned you are. You're not going to know everything about every transaction, every circumstance, because there's thousands of varieties of how things, variables in real estate transactions. So I think that I've learned to just kind of take things in stride. You know what I mean? If a client approaches me with an opportunity and they want me to, for example, you guys are helping me. I had a client that wanted me to list 12 of his properties, a portfolio of him that he wanted it to sell. And each property had multiple tenants, and coordinating that and the logistics of that were kind of intense, right? But I just took it on. I mean, you just kind of take it step by step. Trust your skill set, trust what you know, lean on those that you work with. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you guys, I mean, I could have never organized the logistics of all that photography and coordinating, but you helped me, right? Same with lenders. I mean, you might not know how everything works, what every loan scenario looks like, but you work with people that you trust. And I think that's really important to me, is work with people that you trust and you have a good relationship with. And you kind of lean on them and combine their skills with your skills, and you just kind of go from there.
Yay, that's awesome. Yes, that is a powerful answer. And I love what you mentioned, like not having a failure, and it's about perspective, because a lot of people are like, oh, so upset that this happened. And other people like yourself, like take it as a learning experience or take it as a positive note in life. Like it's a hiccup, it's a bump that'll push us to either be better, or if our perspective is wrong, then.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, life is hard, right? I mean, like the world is already hard enough and the world is already mean enough. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say that I've always practiced that, but I mean, I think generally I have, but just don't be so hard on yourself as well.
I like that. Yeah. Okay, so what is something from your past you can laugh about today?
I was actually very shy when I was younger.
No, Tony.
Yes, I know. Now I don't stop talking about it.
I don't believe it.
No, I really was. Yeah, when I was younger, I was very shy and very introverted.
Wow.
And to some degree, I mean, I still am, but in different ways, right? But yeah, I was actually very shy. Didn't really talk to too many people. I kind of kept to myself, and I just was like kind of in this bubble, right? Because also this goes back to the Hispanic household thing. I grew up with my mom and my mother and grandmother because my father and grandfather passed away when I was younger. So you can imagine me growing up with two Hispanic ladies, two Mexican moms, basically. They shelter you. They put you in a bubble, right?
Yeah.
Ay, mijito. They cooked everything for you. They wash them. They do everything for you. That's their nature, is to be very nurturing and take care of you, right? So I kind of had this bubble.
Oh, I thought you were about to talk about la chancla.
No, not la chancla.
It was a bubble.
It was a bubble. No, they were always protecting me.
You got the sweet protective.
Yeah, but with that bubble also came like, you couldn't really go out. My brother used to make fun of me. He's like, you couldn't go outside the fence. No puedes salir. O sea, which is kind of true, because Houston was kind of rough back in the 90s. I don't know how long you remember all that. But I was very they're very overprotected. So I grew up in this bubble. So I kind of knew that I had to bust out of that.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to UT. I'd never visited UT prior to that, but I knew that I had to leave my house and leave the city, because if I never did, I would never get out of that bubble. I'd always be shy and introverted.
Yeah.
So if you can believe that, I was actually a very shy person at one point.
And I love how you made that decision. Like, I don't want to be shy. I don't want to be so introverted all the time. Yeah. I'm going to step out. That's crazy. Into the uncomfortable.
There you go.
Uncomfortable. Okay. So what would you tell yourself as a new agent? You're just starting out. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself, number one, don't be hard on yourself. As a new agent, the industry's hard. I mean, there's thousands of us, right? I mean, if you think about that in and of itself is overwhelming, because there's so many people doing what you do. I mean, that's wild. So don't be hard on yourself. Everybody's on a different career path or on a different learning curve or on just a different point or stage of their career or their lives. So sometimes I think that social media is a great thing, but I think also social media can kind of get in your head a little bit, right? Because you start friending all these other realtors and you see these realtors closing, selling homes. They look a certain way. They're doing this, they're doing that. And that subconsciously can start really kind of messing with you or kind of getting in your mind, right? And you start comparing yourself to others. Well, why am I not selling, 5 homes a month? You know what I mean? But you don't really know the other side of the coin. You don't know that person is working 18-hour days. You don't know that person might not have children like you do. So everybody's
so many things.
Everybody's circumstances
and they
different.
might be 2, 3, 5, 10 years ahead of that
Exactly,
person, right?
exactly. So you really don't know the circumstance of the other person. So I think sometimes it's just like, just mute out all the noise, kind of drown it out, and just do you, be you. You know what I mean? There's thousands of realtors, but there's only one you. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important. And I've never been a person that really likes to conform to large groups, to have to like comply to certain norms and trends of like what a realtor should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's really why it was also important for me to branch out and establish my own brokerage, just because I wanted to be me. And I think you probably see this. If you see my videos, you kind of see that I'm me. I just kind of talk, and I don't try to look a certain way. I kind of just present myself as I normally am. And I think that really resonates with people. People like authenticity. Yeah. And in today's age, sadly, there's a lot of authenticity that's lacking because people want to conform to a certain image because that is what is being told. They assume or they're being told is appealing.
Yeah. That's powerful for a new agent that's seeing all these things out in the world. And real estate is hard, but don't be hard on yourself.
Don't be hard on yourself. Yeah. I mean, take it in stride. I mean, everything's a learning experience. And you know what? Life goes on. I mean, you know what I mean? Like and that's another thing that you kind of realize about the business is that it's not I don't even know if this is a word, but it's not a meritocracy, meaning it's not a merit-based business. And that's one of the things that I have a hard time with in real estate. You could be the most knowledgeable. You could be the best at what you do. But sometimes that's not what that particular client or buyer is looking for. They like the flashy. They like the kind of they like something different, or who knows what it is, but they're not drawn to you. They're drawn to another agent. So sometimes that can be frustrating, right? Yeah. So don't beat yourself up. Just kind of do you. And the people that are going to gravitate towards you are going to gravitate towards you. Those that aren't, and just kind of keep moving.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great piece of advice. So what is the best way to get in contact with you if there are any? This is leaned more toward real estate agents, but if there's anybody out there, how can they reach you?
My phone number.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is it okay to put it up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, I always answer my phone, or I try to at least.
I know you've had like 5 phone calls since since we've been together.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do good with that. I mean, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for spending this time together. Are there any last words that you would like to tell people? Any last piece of advice? Anything?
I think that you kind of realize in today's industry what's important, right? And marketing is a key element of real estate in today's real estate environment. So. Raul and Melody, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You do great photography, but outside of the photography, you're so helpful with creating content and helping people get their message across in whatever fashion they choose to. So I think that, marketing is so important in today's business that I think that's a key. Like if you're a newer agent or just a seasoned agent, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think marketing is very important, and people like to see you as an individual. So get out there and put yourself out there as an individual and just let the world know who you are.
Yes, I love it. And social media makes it so easy nowadays, right?
It does.
Just to finish off, I know I said finish off. What has been over your past years in real estate, your favorite form of marketing? I know you guys do so many different types of things, but what's been your favorite?
I think that my business is predominantly 100% referral based. So the best marketing that I've done is really investing in my clients, investing time, energy, effort, helping. Yeah. So with that come referrals, and that kind of spins off, and those referrals are free to other people. But as far as marketing, I think that just video is very important. I don't know that there's obviously people create ads and there's pretty videos that come out and this, that, and the other. But I think just getting in front of a camera and letting people hear your voice, that's powerful, right? Because I mean, if you think about it, there's so many agents that are posting photos, that are posting certain pictures, whatever it is. And it's good. It draws attention. It's glossy. It looks good. But at the core of it, people want to see you. They want to know what you're about, right? And if they know what you're about, they're going to call you because they associate with you.
Yeah, so, exactly. I love it. Okay, well, thank you, Tony, for your time. It has been amazing getting to dive in a little deeper, and I can't wait to keep having those weekly phone calls.
Yes. Hopefully I can keep them coming. Huh?
Yes. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.